How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the CaliSports News Report. Joining me is Felipe Gamino and the tall one, Groff. Now, today we're going to be discussing a lot of interesting topics, including what we think of LeBron James, the relationship between him and Draymond Green, and what is going to happen tonight in Game 5. Gentlemen, your thoughts on Draymond Green getting suspended?
It's just BS. Like, they're trying to create a game 6. Yes, he has 5 flagrant fouls. Yes, he should be suspended. But the whole, if he didn't get suspended for kicking Steven Adams, but he hits LeBron, or he's attempting to hit LeBron, and now he's suspended, I don't think that it was worth it.
All right, Felipe.
Well, as Zach was mentioning, they try to create Game 6 and then make the game more exciting, have a more dramatic finale. But in the end, the Warriors are going to probably win the whole series. So I don't think that's too much drama.
Well, here's the thing about Draymond Green. And, looking at the instant replay and seeing what had happened, this was a game that LeBron got absolutely beat down. I mean, okay, he had 25 points. He had 8 assists and 9 rebounds. He was almost on his way to another triple-double. That's all nice and well. But this is a guy that has finally formulated a team to his image. He finally got Kevin Love healthy. He finally got a Kyrie Irving that has been flat-out balling. But the problem is the superstar has not been able to execute. Draymond Green has been in his grill this whole entire series, and none more so than in Game 4. And I think that LeBron James lost it. But in a way, I think he kind of baited Draymond Green into, that whole step over and then him swinging. I think that Draymond Green got kind of baited, and, it's unfortunate, and I don't think that Draymond Green should have been suspended. What did you think of the actions of LeBron James?
He's being a baby. Like you said, Draymond has been in his face and been showing him up the whole series. And 25 points, that's not a LeBron good day. That's a good day for, an average player. But LeBron's got to do more. He's got to be like Westbrook and Durant when they played Golden State, where they're assisting or they're putting in points. I mean, prior to the series, they were talking about on possessions where LeBron touches the ball, they score 9/10 of a point. Whereas when he doesn't touch the ball, they score less than half a point. He's gotta facilitate. He's gotta put shots up. He's gotta carry the offense on his own.
Well, you're just mentioning several key points. It's just provoking, but we have to realize that he reached the limit for playing the fouls. If you reach 5, you get a 1-game ban. So allegedly, they saw him trying to throw a fist at LeBron. LeBron provoked. So basically, it's more drama.
Yeah, and maybe this is about not necessarily what Draymond Green did to LeBron, but when he hit Steven Adams below the belt in the series with the Thunder, that to me was worth a suspension, and maybe in that series, in fact, definitely Draymond Green should have been suspended for that incident. But you're talking about, apples and we're not even talking about fruit. We're talking about 2 totally different incidents, 2 different isolated incidents. But I think that because of the past of Draymond Green, I think that the NBA set a precedent by saying, okay, you know what, we didn't get you now, but because of this one little incident, we got you finally for all the things that you've done in the past. I don't think it's fair, and you know what? This puts the Warriors maybe at a disadvantage. Then again, you got Andre Iguodala and Leandro Barbosa that can play defense on LeBron James as well. What are your guys' thoughts on how the Warriors should be playing LeBron in this Game 5?
They should Iguodala was the Finals MVP last year for keeping LeBron in check. I mean, he's the 6th man. He's not even a starter. And his job was don't let LeBron score 40 points. it's one of those things like they know what they're doing. Cleveland tried to Golden State, and that's not going to happen. They're not fast enough. They're not good defensive. They're not as good defensively. And then game 3, they have to be hitting their shots, and Golden State is just bad in game 3s this playoffs. I think they're 0-4 now.
Yeah.
They're 0-4 in game 3s, and that was just evidence to like, but I don't think Golden State's going to have that much of a difficulty. I think it's going to be a closer game than game 1, but I don't think it's going to be like game 3.
All right, Felipe, to finish it off.
Well, basically, they have to play they have to defend smarter, and also realize that LeBron's going to be like a running over machine, slam touching all the time. So they have to stay smart. They have to be consistent on him to make sure he doesn't have like the games of his life.
All right, so now going from the actions of LeBron and Draymond Green to now the Cavs. One of the bright spots to me has been Thompson for the Cavs. The big men. The way you attack this Warriors team is by going at Andrew Bogut. It was a way that it worked for the Thunder for a while before they got beat. I think that in this game 5, the Cavs are to win. They need to go head on, force by force, and attack the Warriors directly. Don't worry about taking jump shots. They need to play physical. They need to play aggressive. And you know what? If the Cavs can do that without playing against Draymond Green, I think that they have a chance to possibly steal one. But then again, you got the Splash Brothers, and if Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry have the nights that they haven't even been having, but now they're starting to heat up as the series has progressed. You know what? It could be you could be looking at 5 and done.
It definitely could be. The end tonight. I mean, they're even anticipating Draymond Green hanging out at the Coliseum, watching the A's game, so that way after the game he can be right at the Oracle, ready to celebrate with the team. Warriors have lost one game at home?
Yeah.
One game at home this playoffs, and that was an absolute collapse against the Thunder. I mean, they were up 20?
Yeah.
They were up 20 at one point, and they lost. It was shocking. They don't lose at home. I mean, they lost 2 games at home this season.
Yeah.
So 3 games total, and it's not going to happen tonight.
Well, especially you have to realize the Warriors and all their players, the key players, Stephen Curry, who is the king of 3-pointers, as you say, and you were mentioning about his effect. He could be in time to celebrate because who knows, it could end tonight, or there might be game 6. We don't know. That's the outcome of basketball.
All right, and just to put a pin on this, before we move on to the soccer action that's been going on throughout the day and the Copa America, this is going to be LeBron James' defining series. I mean, this is going to be the series that we look back on, and will we look at LeBron James in the same light as we do with Kobe and MJ? I mean, not to say that he needs to be the same type of player that those two were, but at the same time, it's about leadership and it's about winning. Kobe's got 5, LeBron James has stuck it 2, MJ has got 6. He finally has the formula. He finally has the team with the coach that he trusts, and whether it's fair or not, this series is going to come down to and reflect on himself in terms of the history of the NBA. So now, moving on to the Copa America, in a weird world where the USA loses to Colombia and then bounces back to beat Costa Rica and Paraguay. In a world where Brazil gets bounced out of the Copa America in the first round. We got soccer expert Felipe to break it down. So how is the USA able to bounce back this week? And what's been going on with this very interesting and very compelling Copa America, Felipe?
Well, first of all, you see it on paper. In the group, we have Colombia, who have their key players, and you have Costa Rica, who has a successful World Cup. you thought that USA were either going to finish second or not even make it past the next round. But as you mentioned, in a strange world, they lost to Colombia. Everyone was throwing beef at Jurgen Klinsmann, saying he should be sacked after the tournament. He should be fired. But then you have this convincing performance 4-0 against Costa Rica, and then you have this 1-0 performance against Paraguay with one man down, DeAndre Jenner getting sent off in the second half. That gives a lot of credit. And then Colombia underestimating Costa Rica, because Colombia, with a win or a point, is at clean first place.
I don't think that Jurgen Klinsmann's job is safe because we won 4-0 against Costa Rica. Like I said prior to the game, Costa Rica's starting goalie, the guy who plays for Real Madrid, he had to have surgery, or he was out for the tournament. So obviously you're not going to get that kind of caliber of goalie that you're normally expecting from Costa Rica, because they're really not a high-scoring team. They're traditionally a lockdown defense. Like, if we score one, you most likely are going to lose or tie. It's just that kind of reputation. Colombia is number 3 in the world, but I think outside of the USA game, I don't think they were playing to the number 3 that they are listed as. And USA got some really lucky breaks. I mean, being up 3-1 against Colombia, like that put a lot of pressure on Colombia, and it went from a dream scenario where they kicked the Jesus out of us, and then they tied. Mm-hmm. They tied with Paraguay? Yeah, they tied Paraguay, and they were like, okay, all we have to do is get a point, and we're pretty much in. And they weren't even focused on what happened. And then with Brazil not making it, I mean, this is not a Brazil team that we will remember as the level of the Pele and the World Cup winning Brazil teams. This is a team that can succeed, but continually fails to succeed. I mean, I watched the 7-1 game against Haiti. That game could have been 15 goals. I mean, there were so many missed opportunities, and then they would score on these weird, like, just misdirection, second chance goals. But they would have these beautiful opportunities, and they just couldn't convert. But as you can see, I'm wearing a Mexico jersey. Mexico plays Venezuela tonight.
Hey, you know what? Shout out to Landon Donovan. You are the real hero of Team USA. Never forget that, Landon.
I agree with him.
Hey, Captain America.
And I'm always one in soccer to look forward to the next round. USA has Ecuador on the slate, and then we probably are going to play Argentina. I mean, that's the most likely outcome of that. And that's going to be the real defining moment. Like, we didn't do well against Colombia, and we better do well against Argentina.
Yeah, well, the way that I've seen this thing, I mean, in terms of your point about Jurgen Klinsmann, is his job safe? Not entirely, but was it eased a little bit more? I think so. I mean, coming back off the Colombian loss, I mean, it could have been a 1-0, maybe 1-1 situation. I mean, that the handball that was called was maybe a mistake, but you know what? That's kind of the way this USA team really operates. It operates better when their backs are up against the wall. They lose 2-0. All of a sudden, the world is collapsing because we haven't been playing Costa Rica very well. And then we beat them 4-0, and then we get a very, very inspiring 1-0 win despite losing Edlin and being down 10 men. So I think it does ease the tension a little bit in terms of Klinsmann's job. One of the things that I've truly loved about watching this tournament has been the progression of Bobby Wood. Bobby Wood, to me, has been, I mean, he is tough, he is spicy, he's got all the natural traits of being an American soccer player, somebody that is very, very physical, in your face, and is tough. But at the same time, too, his creativity's gotten a lot better. That the PK that Clint Dempsey scored, on Costa Rica was due to him and the separation that he was able to deliver, and then being able to score later in that game. And to sum this whole thing up, is that Klinsmann has been able to develop the USA players, I think, and at the senior level a lot better and a lot more efficiently than we have seen in the past. Because before Klinsmann got here, it was okay. USA beat Spain in what was it, 2009 in the Confederations Cup, and it was cute. Oh, the little Americans, they finally got beat a team that was worthy of something. But now it's gone from being a nice little win here or there to now being able to play in friendlies, being able to compete against the Italies of the world, being able to compete against England. So I think in terms of the competitive nature, Team USA has improved a lot. But at the end of the day, we're Americans and we like results. It's not enough just to get somewhere, but you gotta get the wins. Was that a W or was
that was a W?
Okay.
That was a W.
Okay.
That was me saying. That was me saying like we're Americans. The reason we don't like soccer is because we don't like ties. There has to be a winner. There has to be a loser. Well, like our soccer history is that we're losers. We've never won a World Cup. We've never been to a World Cup final. We haven't been a successful team in the United States. We get excited about soccer when the World Cup comes around. But other than that, we really don't care. I mean, the Copa America is here, and it's still like, it's not the World Cup.
The men haven't been to a World Cup final, but the women have, and they've won 3.
Yep.
And also, you're mentioning...
They don't get paid as much.
Oh, well. They're fighting for their rights right now.
You know what? Those ladies should have equal pay just like everybody else.
You were mentioning about Brazil. Brazil and the way they got knocked out, that was a handball. The referee, the assistant saw it, but the referee came to the assistant like, "What did you see?" And then the assistant with no help, they went to the fourth official. This was calming down the substitutes for Brazil. Regardless of them being knocked out, that was a handball, and basically they haven't been playing well this whole tournament.
So Felipe, do you think? And this is the question for you, Groff. What do you think that soccer needs to do in terms of its replay rules? There obviously needs to be a change. It seems, due to the errors in some of the calls that are being made. In some of the questions. Maybe it was a handball, and who knows that Brazil maybe goes on to possibly win that game. I mean, playing 0-0 to Peru when you're this great almighty Brazilian team, with its rich soccer tradition, it's not an excuse, but at the same time too, you feel that Brazil was robbed. So what do you think FIFA needs to do to improve and to better the level of fairness in the game?
Well, first of all, they need video technology, which is a huge topic of discussion, what they're talking about right now. They have improved with goal line technology in controversial goals. Like an example in the 2010 World Cup, where Argentina played Mexico. In one of the goals for Argentina, the Tevez scored, it was offside. They even showed the replay in the stadium, but the referee decided to say it was a goal. So basically, they need I wouldn't say the goal at the NFL goal video replays and all that, but try to have more constant communication and have those. It is necessary to have additional refs behind the goals. Let that happen. But especially what happened yesterday, that shows the unorganization of the officials. And
there you go, Bob. You were shaking your head.
I like soccer being this unpolished, I like the goal line technology I can deal with. But the video replay for the offsides, the handball that happened with Brazil, I like that it's not perfect. I like because soccer is a game where you have to be perfect. I mean, think about it in football. You get to the 1 yard line and you have a first down. You have 4 tries to convert. You have soccer where you're outside the box, and if you cap it the wrong way or you overhit it, it's no good. I like that it requires perfection and the imperfections make the game better.
But then what happens when you get into a scenario when maybe there there isn't a handball that's called, and it is, and it's clearly blatant, and then the rightful team doesn't get the call. But you're saying that you like the imperfections of the game.
Yeah, I like the imperfections. I mean, if it gives it a very backyard feel to it, like an AYSO or club league soccer level to it. Like, you go to a game and you're playing a pickup game and you're like, that was a handball, and it's like, that wasn't a handball, and you're like, okay, I guess it wasn't a handball. It clearly was a handball. There's that level of it that just makes it so much more relatable. I mean, baseball used to be that way when it was the umpire makes the decision and that's it. With the replays, I mean, yes, there have been ones that have been really beneficial and there have been ones that have been really bad, but it's just taken away what I like about baseball. The human error element. I mean, it's like the strike zone. People are like talking about how we should make the strike zone measure, like the thing that measures it, that shows the actual box on the TV, that should be what decides whether it's a strike or a ball. No, I like the imperfection of the strike zone. I like that some umpires like the outside strikes and some umpires don't like the outside strikes. Some umpires give you a little bit more room on top, some give you a little bit more room on the bottom. It allows different pitchers to flourish in different situations, and it forces pitchers to take into account a different part of the game. Like, the imperfections are what make it better. I mean, remember when the World Cup, when they were having that video about all the soccer players being replaced by robots who would execute perfectly, and everyone stopped going to the games? That's how I feel like, if you make things too on top of it, you get rid of this flawed part of it, it's going to change the game.
That flaw is called the human element, ladies and gentlemen. All right, now moving on from the Copa America to UEFA. It has been nothing but beauty and chaos. Security continues to be an issue. We've seen the issues with Germany and with Ukraine and with Russia and England, fans going onto the field, fighting each other. But the level of soccer too has been brilliant. What do you guys want to adjust first? The security or what we just witnessed, a 2-0 Italian victory over Belgium, a almost resurgence in some sort? Or do we want to talk about, how these competitions continue to be a little chaotic in Europe?
First of all, I will improve the security because yesterday when Croatia scored, Luka Modric scored, our fans ran into the pitch to celebrate with the team. Where was the security? There was no security. And also, there needs to be security on the streets because you see incidents like Germany, Ukraine, and including the England and Russia. The England goalkeeper Joe Hart had to tell the fans, the English fans, to stay in the stadium, to remain safe. And everyone used to think that, it's going to be about the soccer, all about the tournament, all the beauty. It's been like 3-4 days of the Euro, and there's been like 3 or 4 like chaotic incidents. Where in the Copa America, there's been none with violence related.
Hooliganism is not a new thing. I mean, fighting at soccer events, like...
What's that?
Well, yeah, that's not new. That's new. Never heard that before. I mean, like, you get riled up. I mean, like, you want to talk about how the Copa America hasn't had chaotic incidents like that? Yeah, it's the United States. It's not as soccer heavy as France and Germany. I mean, yes, there are countries where soccer is in your blood, but it's not like hooliganism is much bigger in Europe than it is in South America. So you're gonna have more fights. You're gonna have, and you can only anticipate and protect against so much. So just, a fan running on the field, like, that's kind of funny. Like, I think that's hilarious.
Security fine.
But then again, you have an issue like what happened in Cleveland when a fan ran onto the court, and obviously that man was not shown on television. I thought that was a good move in retrospect. I mean, I was making a joke on Twitter that sometimes casual sports fans actually watch sports, not to actually watch the sports themselves, but to watch the fans make a fool of themselves. But you know what? At the same time, too, fans have gotta, there's been too many incidents this year with fans in general. I mean, it goes from soccer to basketball to baseball with a fan throwing an aluminum bottle at Ryan Howard. So just take some advice from us. We're three crazy guys, but please stay in your seats, enjoy the game. One of the beautiful things about soccer, why the events like the UEFA and the Copa America are watched so much, is because of the fans. Because you've got that enormous passion, that explosive passion for your team, for your nation, and for your country. So it's a beautiful thing to watch. But when that breaks and interferes with the game and causes situations to get dangerous, not just for the players, but for other fans themselves, that's when you toe line. So people, you guys need to curb the enthusiasm. So now, moving on from my Dodgers to your Giants. The Giants beat the Dodgers in a 3-game series, taking 2 out of 3 again. A lot of good things came from the Dodgers, like Julio Urias has really come along after about 2 rocky starts. He had himself a pretty nice game against San Francisco, gave up only 2 runs. However, the Dodgers had Kenley Jansen blow another save, and then their offense has been non-existent when they've needed it the most. What did you see and what did you like from that series, Goff? We'll let you gloat a little bit.
Yeah, San Francisco had.
I love the fact that the Giants won 2 games out of 3. I don't like the fact that I can't watch the Dodgers and Giants play without actually going somewhere. I can't watch them come from my own home because it's Time Warner Cable. I have all the Giants games, and I
got Time Warner Cable. Excuses.
I have to go
to a bar.
I have to go to a bar. I had to go to a bar on Saturday to watch the game.
He's married, ladies and gentlemen.
And as far as the Dodgers, I mean, the majority of their runs were on home runs, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I mean, Justin Turner hitting a ninth inning home run off Santiago Garcia, and that problem. To Adrian Gonzalez taking the 4-3 lead in the top of the 10th. It was just they didn't put runners in scoring. They put runners in scoring position, and they failed. They failed miserably when they did. I mean, on Saturday, I think it was Peterson that got thrown out at third. He was trying to steal third on Buster Posey, which was trying to steal on Buster Posey is never a good idea. Trying to steal third is bad. It was the worst idea. And it ended up costing them the game. I mean, if you think about it, the next guy up hits a single. He's at second. He would have scored.
Yeah.
And that it just the Giants are not doing so well right now. And the fact that we were still able to take 2 or 3 from LA is great. Urias looked much better. I mean, giving up a 2-run homer to Bobby Bell. I mean, there have been better pitchers who've done stuff like that. It was kind of interesting to see PV and Urias go head-to-head. PV being the old guy, Urias being the young guy. But it was nice.
Yeah, watching Julio Urias, and I got some criticism, because when Urias made his first start in New York, it seemed like all of Dodger Nation was saying that this guy's going to be the next Fernando Valenzuela. He was recruited by the same scout that scouted Fernando Valenzuela. He's got all the tools, he's got all the lightning, and you know what? He pitches almost like Kershaw. Him and Kershaw, both left-hander, both got great stuff. But the problem is he's still only 19 years old. I mean, I'm 23, Goff's older, Felipe's younger. I mean, what are we doing with our lives? I mean, I was working as a waiter at 19. So, the fact that he's even made it up to the major leagues, and the fact that he's already pitching at the level that he's pitching is something of note. So I thought that the early hype on him was a little bit too premature, but since since his last start and that good game that he had against the Giants, he's been pretty rock solid, still keeping his pitch count low, not wanting to waste that arm. I think he's a bright spot for the Dodgers, and I think the Dodgers made the right decision by bringing him up because it'll only help increase and accelerate his maturity as a ball player. But the Dodgers right now, I mean, this is a team that is not very good. When I mean not very good, not that they're bad, but it just doesn't seem like they can put it together right now with their bullpen or with their offense when they need it the most. I mean, Adrian Gonzalez has a great at bat and gives the Dodgers a 4-3 lead. Only for Kenley Jansen, usually Mr. Closer, rock solid, gives it right back. And then Sunday, Dodgers muster up one run on a water shot into McCovey Cove by Jock Peterson. Problem with this Dodgers team is they're inconsistent. All right, it's still June. It's still early. They're only about 4 games back, and you know what? They're going to be in it for the long term. But right now, they're in their dog days of the season.
As far as like the Dodgers, like I feel like the Dodgers this year are the way that the Giants were last year. If you don't win a Baumgartner start, it's going to be a long 5 days. Like Kershaw starting, I think the Dodgers are like they're about as tough to beat as any team in the majors.
9-1.
Yeah, 9-1. I mean, with probably more wins, but no decisions. They're a really solid team. They seem to hit better. They seem to play better. And it was that way last year with the Giants. Like if Madison Baumgartner went on the mound and didn't win, well, okay, it's going to be 5 days till we win again. And that's how I feel the Dodgers are now. I mean, Maeda's okay. But the rest of them, it's a real crapshoot. I mean, they have good days and they have bad days. As far as Urias goes, I mean, his first 3 starts are against the New York Mets, World Series participant last year, the Cubs, who are the best team in baseball this year, and then the Giants, who are a rock solid team. I mean, three World Series in the last 5 years. Like that's tough. I mean, when Juan Marichal came up, his first game was against the Phillies, and the Phillies were I think a 40-win team that year. Like he's going against some really solid hitting teams, some solid playing teams, and yes, he's gotten 3 no decisions or 3 losses. 2 losses?
Yeah.
2 losses. He's got 2 losses, but that's not going to define his career. I mean, that's like going against the 27 Yankees. It's a 19-year-old phenom.
So, in terms of how would you guys grade the young Urias right now in terms of his performance and what he has done so far? How would you grade him? Both give him a grade in terms of the way that he's approached the game, and then just in terms of the way that he has been able to handle this hype and being a part of this team and dealing with all the outside stuff of being a Los Angeles Dodger.
I mean, his reading of the game has improved. He's been doing really well. If I said against the Giants, he didn't go the full way. The Giants ended up winning. So I believe there's still room for improvement. As you said, the Dodgers, they have a lot to improve on still. 33 and 31 record. So basically, there's a long way to go. It's 32.
I feel like he's Todd Gurley-esque, where like he's really talented. We know he's talented, but he still like Gurley had a great season last year in the offensive rookie of the year, but we still have higher expectations. His ceiling is endless. He could be the guy who is the new Zach Greinke to Kershaw. He could replace Kershaw come time for it. But so far, it's just been a couple stumbling blocks, and I think it's just bad luck for the most part. I mean, like I said, 3 solid teams has been like his first 3 starts. He's not playing against the Padres.
All right. Now, last topic before we go here, and thank you for tuning into the CaliSportsNews.com report. Madison Baumgartner wants to play in the home run derby, and I've got a list of some pitchers that have been home run leaders. I mean, he has proven with the home runs that he's hit off of Kershaw in the past that he can definitely swing the bat. Yeah, he's got 2 home runs.
He's got 2 more than every other pitcher combined.
Yeah. So, yeah, just to point that out to you. So now, Madison Baumgartner wants to hit the home run derby. Do you guys think it should happen? I would love to see him in the home run derby. I mean, want to talk about one of the stars of baseball, and then to see a pitcher for the first time compete and maybe even win, it wouldn't hurt him because he only hits every 5th day. So, you know what? Even if he went on a slump and he had to hit sacrifice bunts for the rest of the year, I don't have any problem with it. What do you guys think?
I think that if we did like a pitcher's derby where like the teams that had people in the home run derby also got to put a pitcher up, like it would expand the home run derby, it would add way more, but I think it would be more interesting. And in the home run derby, you're throwing meatballs. I mean, you're throwing 80 mile an hour right over the middle of the plate. You're not, as far as pitching goes, I don't think Bumgarner would be a solid hitter, a home run hitter that we would be in this conversation if he wasn't a pitcher, because pitchers tend to get more fastballs. He's not going to get sliders on the outside, dipping away, or balls in the dirt that he's going to swing at. So he's getting a lot of fastballs, and even Kershaw has been victim to that. Like, oh, it's just a pitcher. Like, I'm just going to throw him a low fastball. But I worry about him getting hurt. Like, the home run derby is cool and all, but I worry about him getting hurt.
Give me that. Getting hurt, that's your biggest excuse? I am, in the history of baseball, has anybody ever gotten hurt from hitting in the home run derby? I've never seen that before. I mean, maybe you're right in that regard, because anything that can happen will. I mean, that's Murphy's Law.
What if he's got to start the next day at the All-Star game, and then because he's tired from winning the home run derby,
then
he sprains a hamstring. He's out for 2 months.
Spraining? Boy, get out of here.
We have another 100 fans.
You know what? This absolutely should happen. Madison Baumgartner, you hit in that home run derby, because not only do I think that you should hit in it, but I think that you could actually win it. Okay? You're talking about a guy who is one of the most athletic, powerful guys in all of the major leagues. And you know what? What if the Vegas odds were just to happen that Bryce Harper was having an off night? Stanton was having an off night. You know what? Put him in. The All-Star game for the major leagues has been very, very sleepy. It has. I mean, watching the home run derby to me is always fun because, you know what, it's a great fan experience. But other than the home run derby, there's not really much to watch other than the game. And it's an exhibition game that's supposed to determine which side has home field advantage for the World Series. That has been another conversation of itself. Madison Baumgartner, don't worry about this Giants fan. He's just a little bit scared that you're going to get hurt. You go out there and you do it.
I want to win a World Series.
And even if you know what, your swing somehow gets messed up, because I do believe in the home run derby curse. I do believe that, you know what, sometimes guys' forms can get messed up. I mean,
he hits more than all the Dodgers combined.
Hey, good point. But you know what, you look at Jock Peterson. Jock Peterson, I mean, he was hitting around the 250 range. Pre-home run derby, and then post-home run derby, his batting average was like this, and it went, and then like back up to like 230 or something. So you do it. You hit that home run derby, all right? because if you were to sprain a hamstring, it would help out my Dodgers considerably, but I don't think that would happen. Dodgers fan or not, I respect the game. I respect the passion. They need to let Mad Bum loose. Felipe, finish it off. What do you think? Give us some flavor here.
Some flavor?
Give us some flavor, huh?
Flavor? Well, I totally agree. He should definitely get it, regardless of the home run curse, and regardless of all that whole injuries that might happen, because baseball and lots of injuries happen, which lead to fights. I've seen in my ears
getting hit with the baseball.
Yeah, there's gotta be the kid. When someone gets hit with a baseball, it usually leads up to fights. Now, my fights, I've watched the baseball throughout the years. Pitcher throws, hits the player in the arm or whatever. He goes running and a huge rumble breaks out. So.
And Machado just signed a contract with Tap Out for new gloves.
Yeah, well, you know what? I heard that Jose Bautista signed a contract with Lazy Boy, something to help him lay on in case he falls asleep again. Anyway, though, that was a bad joke. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. This has been the Cali Sports Report. I'm Ethan. That's Zach. That's Felipe. I'm Ethan A. Hanson. That's capital ETHAN, capital AHANSON. You can follow me on Twitter. Zach, do you do Twitter?
Yeah, I'm TRS Bang8, BANG8.
All right, Felipe.
My Twitter, ladies and gentlemen, please follow is Gamino, GAMINO 13.
Follow you, we'll follow back, and we'll have more episodes of the Cali Sports News Report coming up for you soon. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.